All right, so get ready because today we're going to unpack this fascinating idea of body recomposition,
Okay.
building muscle while you're losing fat.
Right.
It's something that so many people think is just a total fitness myth. But today, we are on a mission
Uh-huh.
to uncover the truth.
Okay.
We are diving deep into Jeff Nippard's ultimate guide to body recomposition.
Right.
And I've got an expert in exercise and nutritional science here with me to kind of help us wade through all the complexities.
Well, I'm very excited to be here.
Wonderful.
And I think this guide is packed with a lot of great scientific insights.
Okay, great. So you're on board with this idea that body recomposition is actually achievable.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Nippard presents really compelling evidence that challenges that traditional bulk and cut cycle
right.
that people are so used to. And he really highlights that certain groups of people are especially primed for body recomposition. So we're talking about beginners hitting the gym for the first time, people returning to training after a break, individuals with a predisposition for muscle growth. There's genetic outliers, so to speak.
Right, those muscle freaks.
Exactly. And of course, those using anabolic steroids.
Okay, very interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing the key here is to really understand how our metabolism truly works.
Right.
I mean, everybody throws around this phrase calories in versus calories out,
Yeah.
but it can't be that simple, can it?
You're spot on. I mean, Nippard goes beyond that oversimplified equation
Okay.
and really dives into the three components of metabolism:
Okay.
your basal metabolic rate, or BMR, your physical activity level, and the thermic effect of food.
Hold on, break that down for me.
Yeah.
What exactly is basal metabolic rate?
Okay, so think of BMR as the baseline energy your body burns just to keep you alive, even when at rest. So the energy required for basic functions like breathing, circulating blood, and maintaining body temperature.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
So how do we factor in the physical activity part?
So that component includes both your structured exercise routine
Right.
and something called NEAT, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis.
Okay.
So it's all the movement you do outside of the gym, walking, fidgeting, even yard work.
Yeah.
And Nippard highlights that increasing your NEAT can significantly impact your calorie burn.
Wow, I never realized those everyday activities could make such a big difference.
It's the cumulative effect that matters.
Okay.
And then you have the thermic effect of food, which is the energy your body uses to digest and process the food you eat.
Interesting. So if we combine all three of those components, then we get a more accurate picture of our total daily energy expenditure.
Precisely. And that understanding forms the foundation for setting appropriate calorie goals for body recomposition.
Okay.
And Nippard provides a very helpful formula
Yeah.
for calculating your BMR, taking into account factors like age, gender, and body weight.
So it's a personalized approach. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution.
Absolutely. He then explains how to adjust that BMR based on your activity level,
Uh-huh.
using multipliers that account for how active you are throughout the day.
This is getting me excited to crunch some numbers and see where I stand.
But before you get lost in calculations, remember that Nippard really emphasizes the importance of choosing a primary goal.
Okay.
So ask yourself, is it more important for me to build muscle or lose fat?
Okay.
That answer will really guide your calorie adjustments.
So if I'm primarily focused on building muscle, I might even need a slight calorie surplus.
That's the idea. And he provides specific examples in his guide. For instance, a lean beginner aiming for muscle gain could benefit from a surplus of around 25%.
Wow. Okay.
On the other hand, someone with a higher body fat percentage aiming for fat loss
Okay.
might need a slight calorie deficit.
All right. Now we're getting into the strategic side of things.
It's all about finding the right balance
Okay.
for your individual needs and goals.
Now I'm really curious about the role of macronutrients,
Okay.
specifically protein. It's like the holy grail of muscle building, isn't it?
You could say that Nippard dedicates a significant portion of his guide to protein,
Okay.
emphasizing its importance for both building and preserving muscle tissue
Right.
during body recomposition.
Okay. So spill the beans. What's the magic number for protein intake?
He recommends a sliding scale of 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per pound of lean body mass, with leaner individuals requiring more.
So the more muscle you have, the more protein you need to fuel that growth.
Precisely.
Makes sense.
And the guide provides examples of how to calculate your protein needs based on your body composition.
Okay.
But he doesn't stop there.
Okay.
He emphasizes that not all protein sources are created equal,
Oh.
diving deep into the concept of protein quality and the importance of essential amino acids.
Hang on, back up for a second.
Yeah.
What are essential amino acids?
Okay.
And why are they so important?
Essential amino acids are the building blocks of protein that our bodies cannot produce on their own.
Uh-huh.
We must obtain them through our diet. A high-quality protein source will contain all 9 essential amino acids
Right.
in sufficient amounts to support muscle growth and repair.
So it's not just about hitting a protein gram target,
Right.
but also making sure we're getting the right types of protein.
You're catching on quickly.
I'm trying.
Nippard provides a very helpful list of complete protein sources
Okay.
in his guide, including whey protein eggs, meat fish, and dairy.
Okay.
He also offers guidance for plant-based individuals,
Oh, good.
suggesting strategies like combining different protein sources
Mm-hmm.
or using vegan protein powder blends to achieve a complete amino acid profile.
That's really helpful for both meat eaters and vegans.
Right.
This deep dive is already changing the way I think about protein.
It's about understanding the complexities
Right.
of protein's role in body recomposition
Okay.
and empowering yourself to make informed choices.
All right, we've talked about calorie goals. We've talked about the importance of protein. What about the other macronutrients, carbs and fats? Where do they fit into this body recomposition equation?
Nippard delves into the nuances of carb and fat intake,
Okay.
emphasizing that recommendations are influenced by body fat percentage and individual goals.
So someone with a higher body fat percentage aiming for fat loss might benefit from a lower carb, higher fat approach.
That's one scenario he outlines in his guide.
Okay.
He also explains that leaner individuals, particularly those focused on muscle growth, can handle more carbs
Uh-huh.
due to their better insulin sensitivity.
Okay, so it's all about finding that personalized balance
Precisely.
based on individual needs.
He provides specific examples and macro breakdowns for different profiles
All right.
to illustrate this individualized approach.
Got it.
It's not about rigid rules, but understanding how your body responds to different macronutrient ratios.
I'm starting to see how body recomposition isn't a one-size-fits-all solution, but more a framework that can be adapted to individual needs and goals.
That's exactly the message he conveys throughout the guide.
All right, I love it. Now I'm curious about protein timing and distribution.
Is there a magic window for protein intake to maximize muscle growth?
Right.
Or is it more about just hitting a daily target?
That's a great question.
Okay.
So Nippard tackles this common concern head-on, debunking the myth of the anabolic window.
What's that?
You know, that idea that you need to consume protein within minutes of finishing your workout.
Oh, I've definitely fallen prey to that belief,
Hmm?
rushing to chug a protein shake right after lifting.
He explains that while post-workout protein is certainly beneficial, it's not as critical as once thought.
Okay.
As long as you're meeting your daily protein target
Okay.
and distributing it somewhat evenly throughout the day, you're setting yourself up for success.
That's a relief to hear.
Right.
Well, instead of obsessing over like a specific time window,
Right.
it's more about incorporating protein consistently into our meals and snacks.
Precisely. And he suggests aiming for 4 to 6 protein-rich meals per day
Okay.
to maximize muscle protein synthesis and provide a steady stream of amino acids to your muscles. Okay, that seems doable.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about something I always find a bit perplexing.
Okay.
Protein quality.
Okay.
You mentioned earlier that not all protein sources are created equal.
Right.
Can you elaborate on what makes a protein source high quality?
So it comes down to the amino acid profile.
Okay.
Remember those 9 essential amino acids I mentioned earlier?
Yes.
Well, a high-quality protein source contains all 9
okay.
in sufficient amounts to support optimal muscle growth and repair.
So it's not just about hitting a gram target, but also ensuring we're getting a complete spectrum of amino acids.
Exactly. And within those essential amino acids, leucine plays a particularly crucial role
Okay.
in stimulating muscle protein synthesis.
Okay, now things are getting technical.
But it's fascinating, isn't it?
It is.
Understanding these details can help us make more informed choices about our protein sources.
For sure. I'm realizing there's so much more to protein than I initially thought.
It's about recognizing that our food choices have a direct impact on our body's ability to build and repair muscle tissue.
Okay. All right, I'm ready to dive deeper into the world of carbs.
Okay.
We've all heard about good carbs versus bad carbs. But what's the real story when it comes to body recomposition?
So Nippard does a great job of breaking down the different types of carbs,
Okay.
emphasizing that while carbs aren't essential for survival,
All right.
they are crucial for fueling workouts and impacting both our energy levels and hunger.
Okay.
He distinguishes between simple and complex carbs, highlighting their different impacts on blood sugar levels.
So simple carbs are the ones that give us that, like, quick burst of energy followed by a crash.
You got it.
Okay.
They're quickly digested and absorbed, leading to rapid spikes and dips in blood sugar.
Right, and complex carbs are the ones that provide more sustained energy.
Precisely. They're made up of longer chains of sugar molecules
Okay.
and take longer to break down, resulting in a more gradual and sustained release of energy into the bloodstream.
This is making me rethink my carb choices already.
It's about understanding how different carbs affect your body and choosing those that align with your goals.
So in the context of body recomposition, would you say that complex carbs are generally the preferred choice?
They are a valuable tool for sustained energy
Okay,
and better appetite control, especially when chosen strategically.
got it.
He also introduces the concept of the glycemic index, GI,
Okay.
which measures how quickly a particular food raises blood sugar levels.
Ah, yes, the glycemic index. I've
Yeah.
heard of it, but could you explain why it matters, especially for body recomposition?
Foods with a high GI cause a rapid spike in blood sugar,
Uh-huh.
leading to that familiar sugar rush and subsequent crash.
Right.
Low GI carbs, on the other hand, result in a slower, more gradual increase in blood sugar,
Okay.
providing more stable energy levels and better appetite control.
This is starting to make a lot of sense.
Good.
So choosing low GI carbs seems like a really strategic way to fuel our workouts,
Yes,
manage hunger without those energy roller coasters.
exactly. And he even provides a helpful list of low GI carb sources in his guide, including options like brown rice, quinoa, sweet potatoes, oats, lentils, and most vegetables.
This is giving me a whole new perspective on carb choices.
Good.
It's not about eliminating carbs altogether,
Right.
but understanding their impact on our bodies.
Yes.
And choosing wisely.
You're getting it. It's about empowering yourself to make informed decisions that support your unique needs and goals.
Now let's talk about fueling those workouts for optimal performance and recovery.
Okay.
What are some key takeaways about pre-workout nutrition?
So Nippard stresses the importance of pre-workout nutrition,
Okay.
recommending a combination of low GI carbs, a moderate amount of protein,
Uh-huh.
and a serving of fruit.
So something like a bowl of oatmeal
Mhm.
with berries and a scup of protein powder would be a great option.
That's a perfect example.
Okay.
He explains that the low GI carbs, like oatmeal, provide sustained energy,
Right. Good.
while the protein helps create an anabolic environment, priming your muscles for growth.
That makes sense. And what about fat in the pre-workout meal?
He suggests limiting fat intake, particularly if you're eating close to your workout time,
Okay.
as fat slows down digestion and could lead to discomfort during training.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
Now, I'm curious about what to consume during a workout.
Okay.
Is intra-workout nutrition something we need to worry about?
It depends. He explains that for shorter workouts, especially if you've had a balanced pre-workout meal,
Right.
intra-workout nutrition might not be necessary.
Okay.
However, for longer or more intense sessions, particularly those lasting over an hour, intra-workout carbs can be beneficial
Oh.
for maintaining energy levels and performance.
So for those longer sessions, what are some good options for intra-workout carbs?
He suggests easily digestible carbs like dextrose
Okay.
or highly branched cyclic dextrin, HBCD, which can be found in sports drinks or carb powders.
Okay, got it. And what about protein during a workout?
Okay.
Do we need to be sipping on protein shakes between sets?
He clarifies that protein isn't as crucial as carbs during training, especially if you've already consumed protein before your workout.
This is good to know. I've often wondered if I should be including protein in my intra-workout drinks.
He explains that while protein during training can provide some benefits,
Yeah.
it's not as essential as carbs for sustaining energy levels and performance.
Right, that simplifies things. So
Yes.
it sounds like focusing on pre-workout nutrition
Right.
and then replenishing carbs during longer workouts is a more strategic approach.
You're catching on quickly.
Try.
He also emphasizes the importance of staying hydrated,
Okay.
both before and during your workout, as dehydration can significantly impact performance.
Hydration check. Now let's talk about post-workout nutrition.
Okay.
Is there really an anabolic window that we need to hit to maximize muscle growth?
So he debunks that myth,
Okay.
explaining that while post-workout nutrition is certainly important,
Mm-hmm.
it's not as time-sensitive as once believed.
I've always felt that pressure to chug a protein shake within minutes of finishing my workout.
He emphasizes that as long as you're meeting your daily protein target
Right.
and incorporating protein-rich meals throughout the day, the timing of your post-workout meal is less critical.
That's a relief to hear.
Right.
It takes the pressure off feeling like I have to rush to get protein into my system.
He suggests having a balanced meal containing protein, carbs, and healthy fats within a couple of hours of your workout.
Okay.
But he stresses that consistency and adherence to your overall nutrition plan are key.
This makes sense.
Yeah.
It's about adopting a sustainable approach
Yes,
that fits into our lifestyle.
precisely.
And speaking of sustainable approaches, let's talk about cardio.
Okay.
We often hear conflicting advice about its role in building muscle and losing fat.
Right.
Where does cardio fit into the body recomposition puzzle?
So Nippard provides a lot of clarity on this often debated topic.
Okay.
He clarifies that cardio is a tool for manipulating energy balance,
Okay.
not a necessity for fat loss.
Interesting. So if I'm already in a calorie deficit through diet alone, I might not even need cardio for fat loss.
You got it.
Okay.
But he also acknowledges that cardio can offer numerous health benefits, including improved cardiovascular health
Right.
and increased calorie expenditure,
Sure.
which can further contribute to fat loss.
So it's not an essential element for body recomposition,
Right.
but it can be a valuable tool depending on individual goals and preferences.
Precisely.
Okay.
He also cautions against excessive cardio,
All right.
explaining that it can potentially interfere with muscle growth and recovery,
Okay.
especially when combined with intense weight training.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where cardio enhances our progress without hindering muscle growth.
Exactly. And he goes on to discuss different cardio modalities,
Okay.
including LSS, which stands for Low Intensity Steady State, and HIIT, or High Intensity Interval Training, highlighting their pros and cons.
So is one type of cardio better than the other for body recomposition?
Not necessarily. It depends on your preferences, goals, and recovery abilities.
I'm starting to see a recurring theme here.
What's that?
Personalization.
You're absolutely right.
Right.
It's about finding what works best for your individual needs and circumstances.
This is incredibly empowering.
Good.
It gives us the freedom to choose the type of cardio we enjoy
Right.
and can consistently incorporate into our routine.
He also addresses the question of when to do cardio before or after a workout. His recommendation is to prioritize weight training
Okay.
and perform cardio at a separate time to minimize interference with muscle recovery.
This is a great tip.
Okay.
I've often wondered about the best timing for cardio.
And lastly, he emphasizes the importance of choosing activities
Okay.
that you genuinely enjoy and can sustain long term.
Sustainability is definitely key.
It is.
It's about finding activities that we look forward to, not dread.
That principle applies to all aspects of a healthy lifestyle.
Now let's talk about something often neglected in the pursuit of fitness goals.
Okay.
Sleep.
Oh, yes.
We all know it's important.
We do.
But why is it so crucial for body recomposition?
So, Nippard dedicates an entire chapter to sleep,
Really?
highlighting its profound impact on hormone regulation, muscle recovery, and even fat loss.
So a good night's sleep is more than just feeling rested.
Right.
It's actually a key player in achieving our body composition goals.
Exactly. During sleep, our bodies repair and rebuild tissues, including muscle tissue.
Okay.
It's also when crucial hormones, such as growth hormone and testosterone, which are essential for muscle growth, are released.
So a good night's sleep is like a muscle-building elixir.
You could say that. And on the flip side, sleep deprivation can disrupt hormonal balance,
Right.
leading to an increase in cortisol, a stress hormone, that can promote fat storage and hinder muscle growth.
So lack of sleep not only sabotages our muscle-building efforts, but also potentially contributes to fat gain.
Precisely.
It's a double whammy.
Sleep deprivation can also impair insulin sensitivity,
Okay.
making it harder for your body to utilize carbohydrates effectively, and potentially leading to increased fat storage.
Wow. I'm starting to realize that sleep is truly a cornerstone
It is.
of a successful body recomposition plan.
It is.
But how much sleep do we actually need to reap those benefits?
He recommends aiming for 8 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night.
8 to 9 hours.
Yeah.
That seems like a lot, especially for those of us with busy schedules.
He understands that getting that much sleep consistently might not be feasible for everyone,
Right.
but he urges readers to prioritize sleep as much as possible.
Okay.
He suggests aiming for at least 7 hours as a minimum
Okay.
and focusing on improving sleep quality even if you can't always achieve the ideal quantity.
So even small improvements can make a difference.
Absolutely. He recommends strategies for improving sleep hygiene, such as establishing a regular sleep schedule, creating a relaxing bedtime routine, and optimizing your sleep environment.
This is encouraging. I've definitely noticed a difference in my energy and recovery when I prioritize those sleep hygiene practices.
It's about making conscious choices that support restful and restorative sleep,
Right.
which in turn supports your overall well-being and body composition goals.
Now let's talk about another factor that can significantly impact our health and fitness.
Okay.
Stress.
Right.
How does stress factor into the body recomposition equation?
Chronic stress, like sleep deprivation, can wreak havoc on our hormonal balance, leading to elevated cortisol levels.
And we've already established that chronically elevated cortisol can contribute to fat storage and hinder muscle growth.
Exactly.
Right.
He emphasizes the importance of managing stress
Okay.
through healthy coping mechanisms like exercise mindfulness practices and relaxation techniques.
So it's not just about hitting the gym and eating right,
Right?
but also addressing the mental and emotional aspects of well-being.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that our physical health is interconnected with our mental and emotional state.
All right. I think we've laid a solid foundation here.
Good.
Now I'm ready to dive into the nitty-gritty of weight training.
That's where the real magic happens.
All right.
Nippard dedicates an entire chapter to weight training, outlining the principles and strategies for building muscle effectively.
I'm excited to get into the specifics.
He emphasizes that while nutrition is crucial, weight training is the primary driver of muscle growth,
Okay.
even more so than nutrition.
Interesting.
He uses a brilliant analogy comparing training to the engine of a car and nutrition to the fuel.
Okay.
While the quality of the fuel matters,
Right.
without a functioning engine, the car won't move.
That's a great way to illustrate the relationship between training and nutrition.
He then dives into the fundamental principles of muscle growth,
Okay.
including progressive overload, volume, exercise selection, and training frequency.
Okay. Those are some familiar terms, but I'd love to hear Nippard's take on them.
Hmm.
Let's start with progressive overload.
Correct.
What exactly does that mean?
It means consistently challenging your muscles
Okay.
beyond what they're used to.
Uh-huh.
To stimulate muscle growth, we need to provide a stimulus that forces them to adapt and become stronger.
So it's about pushing our limits
Yes.
and not letting our muscles get comfortable.
Exactly. He suggests various methods for applying progressive overload,
Okay.
including increasing the weight lifted, performing more reps, adding more sets, or even improving your form.
So it's not just about lifting heavier.
Not at all.
Okay.
There are multiple ways to progressively overload your muscles and stimulate growth.
Okay.
He also stresses the importance of tracking your progress
Mm-hmm.
to ensure you're consistently pushing those boundaries.
That makes sense. It's about being mindful and intentional with our training.
It is.
Now, what about training volume?
Okay.
I've heard some people say more volume is always better for muscle growth. Is that true?
Not necessarily. While volume is an important factor in muscle growth,
Okay.
more isn't always better.
Okay.
Too much volume can lead to overtraining and hinder recovery,
Right.
while too little volume might not provide enough stimulus for growth.
Right.
It's about finding that sweet spot.
So it's about finding that Goldilocks zone of volume that challenges our muscles without pushing us over the edge.
He recommends aiming for 10-20 sets per body part per week
Okay.
for most trainees,
Uh-huh.
with adjustments based on factors like training experience and recovery abilities.
Makes sense. It's about tailoring volume to our individual needs and responses. Now, what about exercise selection?
Okay.
What types of exercises are most effective for building muscle?
So Nippard emphasizes the importance of compound exercises,
Okay.
those that involve multiple joints and muscle groups. Think of exercises like squats, deadlifts, and bench presses.
Okay, I've definitely heard those called the big lifts.
They recruit a larger amount of muscle mass,
Uh-huh.
leading to greater overall muscle stimulation
Okay.
and a more robust hormonal response.
So they're more bang for your buck.
You could say that.
All right.
He also recommends incorporating isolation exercises,
Okay.
those that target specific muscles to supplement your compound movements and ensure balanced muscle development.
So it's about combining both types of exercises for a well-rounded training program.
Precisely. He provides specific recommendations for both compound and isolation exercises in his guide,
Okay.
ensuring you have a diverse and effective training toolkit.
This is great. I'm getting excited to plan my next workout.
Yeah.
Now, what about training frequency?
Okay.
How often should we be training each muscle group to maximize growth?
He suggests that training each muscle group 2-3 times per week
Okay.
is a good starting point for most individuals.
So a typical bodybuilding split where you train different muscle groups on different days would fit within this recommendation.
It would.
Okay.
He explains that this frequency allows for adequate recovery
Okay.
while still providing sufficient stimulus for growth.
This is helpful.
Yeah.
It gives us a practical guideline for structuring our training week.
He also notes that training frequency can be adjusted based on factors like training experience, recovery capacity, and individual goals.
So once again, it's about personalization.
Absolutely.
This deep dive into weight training is really highlighting the importance of understanding the principles and then tailoring them to our individual needs and responses. It's about empowering ourselves with knowledge.
It is.
To make informed decisions about our training.
That's the spirit.
Yeah.
And remember, it's a journey of self-discovery.
Now let's address a topic that often generates a lot of buzz in the fitness world.
Okay.
Supplements.
Okay.
Do we need supplements to achieve body recomposition?
Right.
If so, which ones are most beneficial?
So Nippard dedicates an entire chapter to supplements.
Wow.
Providing evidence-based insights into their efficacy
Okay.
and recommendations for those looking to optimize their results.
So are supplements a must-have for body recomposition?
Not necessarily. He emphasizes that supplements are meant to supplement,
Oh.
not replace
Right.
a solid foundation of nutrition and training.
So they're not a magic bullet.
Not at all. However, certain supplements can enhance our progress
Okay.
and provide additional support for our goals.
Which supplements make the cut, so to speak?
He places protein powder at the top of the list,
Okay.
highlighting its convenience and efficacy in helping individuals meet their daily protein targets.
That makes sense. We've already discussed the crucial role of protein in building muscle.
Right.
And sometimes it can be challenging to get all of our protein needs from whole food sources alone.
Precisely. He also recommends creatine, a well-researched supplement shown to enhance strength power and muscle mass.
I've heard great things about creatine.
Me too.
It's a natural compound found in our bodies, but supplementation can boost those levels and enhance performance.
Exactly. He also suggests using caffeine strategically,
Okay.
not as a daily crutch, but rather for those heavy and demanding training sessions where an extra boost can make a difference.
So a cup of coffee before a workout might provide a performance edge.
It could?
This is great. What about multivitamins? Are they worth considering?
He discusses the potential benefits of multivitamins, particularly for individuals who may have deficiencies in certain nutrients.
Okay.
And he also mentions green tea extract for its potential thermogenic and antioxidant properties.
So while supplements aren't essential for body recomposition,
Right.
they can play a supportive role in our journey.
Precisely. It's about using them strategically
Right.
and understanding their potential benefits.
This has been an incredibly insightful first part of our deep dive.
Good.
We've covered so much ground already, from understanding the fundamentals of metabolism to optimizing macronutrient intake and exploring the world of supplements.
Lots of good information.
I'm feeling inspired and ready to tackle the rest of Nippard's guide.
I'm equally excited to continue unpacking the science and strategies
All right.
behind body recomposition.
Stay tuned, folks. We'll be right back with more insights from Jeff Nippard's ultimate guide to body recomposition after a quick break.
Sounds good. Welcome back to our exploration of body recomposition. Before the break, we were diving into some of those foundational elements of this approach, from understanding metabolism to optimizing macronutrient intake.
And we also touched on the strategic use of supplements to enhance our progress.
Right.
But now I'm really eager to explore a concept Nippard calls the skinny fat dilemma.
Oh, this is an interesting one.
Okay.
So it's a term he uses to describe individuals who might appear to have a normal weight but possess a relatively high body fat percentage and low muscle mass.
So they might look thin in clothes, but lack muscle definition,
Right.
and have a higher percentage of body fat than ideal for optimal health.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nippard dedicates a whole chapter to this specific scenario, offering tailored advice for those who fall into this category.
I'm guessing the traditional bulking approach might not be the best solution in this situation.
You're right. While the initial instinct might be to bulk up to gain muscle, that could actually exacerbate the issue by adding more fat, further increasing the body fat percentage.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So what's the recommended strategy for individuals navigating this skinny fat dilemma?
So Nippard suggests prioritizing fat loss initially,
Okay.
creating a slight calorie deficit, while simultaneously engaging in resistance training to stimulate muscle growth.
So it's a modified version of the body recomposition approach we've been discussing,
Right.
tailored to address the unique challenges of being skinny fat.
Precisely. It's about addressing both low muscle mass and high body fat percentage concurrently. He advocates for building a solid foundation of muscle while gradually reducing body fat over time.
This is a crucial point because the skinny fat dilemma often comes with health risks associated with a higher body fat percentage,
Uh,
even if the individual's overall weight seems normal.
Absolutely. And Nippard stresses the significance of mitigating those health risks by prioritizing fat loss
Okay.
and enhancing insulin sensitivity, which in the long run can positively impact body composition.
This approach seems incredibly practical and insightful.
Yeah.
It's about recognizing that different body compositions might require specific strategies.
It highlights the importance of personalized guidance,
Okay.
moving away from generic recommendations and considering individual needs.
Now, I want to revisit a topic we touched on briefly earlier,
Okay.
protein quality.
Uh-huh.
You mentioned that not all protein sources are created equal.
Right.
Can you delve into what makes a protein source high quality?
Certainly, protein quality boils down to its amino acid profile. As we discussed before, amino acids are the fundamental building blocks of protein.
Right.
And there are 9 essential amino acids that our bodies can't produce independently.
So we need to obtain these essential amino acids from our diet.
Precisely. A high-quality protein source contains all 9 essential amino acids in sufficient quantities.
It's not just about hitting a specific gram target,
Right.
but also making sure we're consuming a full spectrum of amino acids.
You've grasped the concept perfectly.
Thanks.
Among these essential amino acids, leucine holds particular importance.
Okay.
In the process of muscle protein synthesis, it acts as a trigger signaling to the body to initiate muscle building.
So should we prioritize protein sources that are high in leucine?
It's definitely a factor to consider. He provides a comprehensive breakdown of leucine content in various protein sources in his guide,
Okay.
empowering you to make informed choices.
This is eye-opening. I never realized the level of detail involved in truly optimizing protein intake. It's not just about quantity,
Right.
but also quality
Mm-hmm.
and even the specific amino acid composition.
It's about understanding how our bodies utilize protein for muscle growth and repair,
Right.
and tailoring our dietary choices accordingly.
Now, I'm curious about specific protein sources.
Okay.
What are some examples of high-quality protein options
Okay.
that we can easily incorporate into our daily meals?
So Nippard's guide features an extensive list, but some stellar examples include whey protein eggs, meat fish, and dairy products.
Those are excellent choices for those who incorporate animal products into their diet.
Right.
But what about individuals following a plant-based lifestyle?
Plant-based eaters can also achieve a complete amino acid profile. It might require a bit more planning, but it's absolutely doable.
What are some strategies for plant-based individuals to ensure they're getting all the essential amino acids they need?
So strategically combining different protein sources throughout the day is one approach. For instance, pairing legumes with grains
Okay.
or nuts with seeds
Uh-huh.
can create complementary protein profiles.
So lentil soup with whole grain bread or a trail mix with nuts and seeds would be good examples.
Exactly. And utilizing vegan protein powder blends
Okay.
can also be an effective strategy.
Yeah.
Many options on the market combine protein sources like rice and pea protein
Okay.
to provide a complete amino acid profile.
This is reassuring for vegans and vegetarians.
Right.
It means they can still optimize their protein intake
They can.
and support their body composition goals.
Absolutely. It might require a bit more attention to detail, but
Yeah.
it's definitely achievable.
This conversation about protein quality is really eye-opening.
Good.
It highlights the importance of not just focusing on hitting a protein target, but also considering the sources and making informed choices that align with our dietary preferences and goals.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's about understanding the nuances of protein and its impact on muscle growth.
Now let's shift our focus back to carbohydrates.
Right.
We talked about simple versus complex carbs and the concept of the glycemic index earlier,
Uh-huh.
but I'd love to explore the practical implications of these concepts for our everyday dietary choices.
Certainly. When making carbohydrate selections, opting for those lower on the glycemic index is generally a good strategy.
Okay.
They promote stable blood sugar levels, provide sustained energy, and can contribute to better appetite control.
So incorporating choices like brown rice, quinoa, sweet potatoes,
Right.
and a variety of colorful vegetables into our meals would be a step in the right direction.
Exactly. It's about prioritizing those complex carbs over refined grains and sugary treats,
Okay.
which tend to have a higher glycemic index and can lead to those energy spikes and crashes we discussed earlier.
It's about making choices that support our energy levels, mood, and overall well-being, not just our physique goal.
Precisely. It's about adopting a holistic perspective on nutrition,
Right.
recognizing that our food choices have a profound impact on our overall health and vitality.
Now let's transition to dietary fats.
Okay,
I know there's been a lot of debate about fats over the years.
there has.
But what's the current understanding of their role in body recomposition?
So Nippard emphasizes that dietary fat is an essential nutrient,
Oh,
crucial for hormone production, cell function, and overall health. It's not about fearing fat,
no.
but rather choosing the right types
Great.
and consuming them in appropriate amounts.
So it's about quality over quantity when it comes to dietary fat.
Absolutely. He encourages incorporating sources of healthy fats, such as avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, and fatty fish into our daily diet.
These are all delicious and versatile options. It's about finding ways to include them in our meals and snacks to benefit from their nutritional value.
He provides specific recommendations for fat intake based on individual caloric needs and goals,
Okay.
acknowledging that requirements can vary.
So it's about finding a balance that works for us, not adhering to rigid rules.
Precisely. It's about tailoring our dietary approach to align with our unique needs and preferences.
This deep dive into the world of macronutrients is really enlightening.
Good.
It's not about following restrictive diets,
Right.
but understanding the roles of different nutrients
Uh-huh.
and making informed choices that support our overall well-being. It's about nourishing our bodies,
Yeah.
not depriving them.
I wholeheartedly agree. It's about fueling our bodies with nutrient-dense foods that provide the building blocks for optimal health and performance.
Now let's revisit the topic of cardio.
Okay.
Earlier, we discussed its role in manipulating energy balance and the different types of cardio available.
Right.
But I'm curious to learn more about the specific effects of LIS and HIT
Okay.
on muscle growth and fat loss.
Certainly.
Yeah.
So Nippard offers a comprehensive analysis of these two popular cardio modalities, highlighting their distinct characteristics and effects on the body.
Let's start with LISS. I know it stands for low intensity steady state, but can you describe what a typical LISS workout would look like?
Think of activities like walking, jogging, swimming, or cycling at a moderate pace for an extended duration, typically 30 minutes or more.
Okay.
The key is to maintain a consistent effort level throughout the session.
So it's not about pushing yourself to the max,
Right.
but finding a comfortable pace that you can sustain for a longer period.
Exactly. And because LES is relatively low impact, it places less stress on the body, making it a suitable option for individuals of varying fitness levels and those recovering from injuries.
I've heard that LESS is particularly effective for burning fat. Is that true?
So LASS primarily utilizes fat as fuel,
Okay.
making it an efficient way to tap into stored fat reserves and promote fat loss.
So it's a good option for those looking to shed fat while preserving muscle mass.
Precisely. And because it's less demanding on the body, it can be performed more frequently without interfering with muscle recovery and growth.
That's a huge plus.
Yeah.
Now, let's switch gears and talk about HII. It stands for High Intensity Interval Training. But can you give us a clearer picture of what a HII workout entails?
So HII involves alternating between short bursts of intense activity,
Okay.
pushing your heart rate to its maximum capacity, and brief recovery periods.
Okay.
It's a more demanding form of cardio that challenges both your cardiovascular system and your muscles.
So we're talking about activities like sprinting, jumping jacks, burpees, or anything that gets your heart rate up quickly.
Exactly. And the beauty of HII is its versatility. You can incorporate a wide range of exercises and customize the intensity and duration to suit your fitness level and goals.
I've heard that HII is incredibly effective for boosting metabolism and burning calories.
Yes.
Even after the workout is over. Is that true?
Absolutely. HII creates what's called an afterburn effect,
Okay.
also known as EPC, which stands for excess post-exercise oxygen consumption.
Okay, that sounds intense.
Essentially, it means that your body continues to burn calories at an elevated rate, even after you've finished exercising.
Wow, that's a major advantage. It's like getting more bang for your buck in terms of calorie expenditure.
Precisely. And because HIIT workouts are typically shorter in duration than LASS workouts, they can be a time-efficient option for busy individuals.
So is HIT the superior form of cardio for body recomposition?
Not necessarily. While HIIT offers numerous benefits, it also places a greater demand on the body.
Okay.
And it's essential to consider your individual recovery capacity
Right.
and training schedule.
So excessive HIE could potentially hinder muscle growth
Right.
or lead to overtraining if not carefully managed.
Exactly. It's about finding the right balance and listening to your body's signals.
Okay.
If you're feeling excessively fatigued or experiencing muscle soreness that's preventing you from performing your weight training workouts effectively, it might be a sign to adjust your cardio routine.
That makes perfect sense. It's about choosing the type and amount of cardio. Right.
That aligns with our goals and overall training program. It's not a competition between LISS and HIE,
Right.
but rather finding the right fit for our individual needs.
You've grasped the concept perfectly. And remember, the most effective form of cardio is the one you enjoy
Right.
and can consistently incorporate into your routine.
Now let's delve into another crucial aspect of overall well-being
Okay.
that often gets pushed to the back burner in our busy lives.
Sleep.
Sleep. The unsung hero of health and fitness.
Nippard dedicates an entire chapter to sleep, highlighting its profound impact on body recomposition.
He does.
Earlier, we discussed its role in hormone regulation and muscle recovery, but can you elaborate on how sleep specifically affects fat loss?
Certainly. So sleep deprivation, as we touched on before, can disrupt our hormonal balance, leading to an increase in cortisol, the stress hormone. And as we know, chronically elevated cortisol levels can promote fat storage, particularly around the abdominal area.
So even if we're diligent with our diet and exercise, lack of sleep can undermine our efforts to shed those extra pounds.
Precisely. Sleep deprivation can also impair glucose metabolism and insulin sensitivity, making it harder for your body to utilize carbohydrates efficiently and potentially contributing to increased fat storage.
This reinforces the idea that body recomposition is a holistic process.
It is.
Encompassing not just what we eat and how we train, but also how we prioritize rest and recovery.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the interconnectedness of various lifestyle factors and making choices that support our overall well-being.
Now, the million-dollar question.
Okay.
How much sleep do we actually need to reap these benefits?
All right.
What's the magic number for optimal results?
So Nippard recommends aiming for 8 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night for optimal recovery and hormonal balance.
8 to 9 hours. That might seem unattainable for many, especially those juggling work, family, and social commitments.
He understands that getting that much sleep consistently might be challenging for some, but he stresses the importance of prioritizing sleep as much as possible.
Okay.
He acknowledges that even a small increase in sleep duration can make a significant difference in our energy levels, cognitive function, and overall well-being.
So if I'm currently averaging 6 hours of sleep, aiming for 7 or 7.5 hours would already be a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. Every little bit counts. He also encourages focusing on improving sleep quality, even if achieving the ideal quantity isn't always feasible.
So it's not just about the number of hours, but also about the quality of sleep we're getting.
Precisely. He provides a wealth of strategies for improving sleep hygiene, such as establishing a regular sleep schedule, creating a relaxing bedtime routine, and optimizing your sleep environment.
These are all actionable steps that we can implement to promote restful and restorative sleep.
They are.
What are some specific tips for creating a conducive sleep environment?
He recommends ensuring your bedroom is dark, quiet, and cool, investing in a comfortable mattress and pillows, and minimizing exposure to blue light from electronic devices in the hours leading up to bedtime.
This makes sense.
Right.
I've definitely noticed that using my phone or laptop in bed can disrupt my sleep.
The blue light emitted from those devices can suppress melatonin production, a hormone that regulates our sleep-wake cycle.
It's all about creating a sanctuary for sleep.
Yes.
A space that signals to our bodies that it's time to wind down and rest.
Precisely. And speaking of winding down, let's shift our attention to another crucial aspect of overall well-being that can significantly impact our body composition goals. Stress management.
Stress is an inevitable part of life. But how does it specifically interfere with our efforts to build muscle and lose fat?
As we discussed earlier, chronic stress can wreak havoc on our hormonal balance, leading to elevated cortisol levels.
And we've already established that chronically elevated cortisol can contribute to fat storage, hinder muscle growth, and even increase cravings for unhealthy foods. So it's a triple threat to our body composition goals. It seems like managing stress effectively is just as important as hitting the gym and following a balanced diet.
Absolutely. And Nippard emphasizes the importance of incorporating stress-reducing practices into our daily routines. He highlights the benefits of exercise, but not just the intense kind.
So activities like yoga, walking, or swimming can be beneficial for stress reduction.
Exactly. Activities that promote relaxation and mindfulness can be incredibly effective for managing stress levels.
What are some other strategies he recommends for keeping stress in check?
He advocates for mindfulness practices like meditation and deep breathing exercises. These techniques can help calm the nervous system and promote a sense of inner peace.
I've heard great things about mindfulness practices, and I've dabbled in meditation myself.
Right.
It's amazing how a few minutes of focused breathing can shift your entire state of mind.
He also highlights the importance of prioritizing self-care activities that bring you joy and relaxation.
This is a great reminder. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle and bustle of daily life and forget to carve out time for ourselves.
Whether it's taking a warm bath, reading a book, spending time in nature, or connecting with loved ones, engaging in activities that nurture your soul can significantly impact your stress levels
Right.
and overall well-being.
This conversation is really emphasizing the holistic nature of body recomposition.
It is.
It's not just about physical transformation,
Right. Yeah.
but also mental and emotional well-being. It's about creating a lifestyle that supports our overall health and vitality.
I couldn't agree more. It's about taking a comprehensive approach that addresses all aspects of our being.
Now I'm ready to delve into the heart of body recomposition,
Okay.
weight training.
That's where the real magic happens.
Right.
Nippard dedicates a substantial portion of his guide to weight training, providing a wealth of knowledge and practical strategies for building muscle effectively.
I'm ready to soak it all in. Let's start with the basics. What are the key principles that underpin muscle growth?
So he emphasizes the importance of progressive overload, which we discussed earlier.
Right.
Remember, it's about consistently challenging your muscles beyond their comfort zone to stimulate adaptation and growth.
So it's about pushing our limits and not letting our muscles get complacent.
Exactly. He suggests a variety of methods for applying progressive overload,
Okay.
including increasing the weight lifted, performing more repetitions,
Right.
adding more sets, or even improving our form.
It's about finding ways to continually challenge our muscles, even if it's just a small increment each workout.
Precisely.
Mhm.
Even seemingly minor adjustments can contribute to significant progress over time.
Now, what about training volume? Earlier, we talked about finding that sweet spot, but how much volume is typically recommended for optimal muscle growth?
He suggests aiming for 10-20 sets per muscle group per week.
Okay.
For most individuals, acknowledging that adjustments might be necessary based on factors like training experience, recovery capacity, and individual goals.
This individualized approach seems to be a recurring theme throughout his guide.
It's a crucial aspect of achieving optimal results and minimizing the risk of overtraining.
Right.
He emphasizes that there's no one-size-fits-all answer when it comes to training volume. And it's about experimenting and finding what works best for your body.
So it's about listening to our bodies and finding that sweet spot where we're challenging our muscles
Right.
without pushing them beyond their recovery capacity.
Exactly. And speaking of challenging our muscles, let's talk about exercise selection. What types of exercises are most effective for maximizing muscle growth?
This is a question I've always pondered. There's so many different exercises to choose from,
There are.
and it can be overwhelming to know where to start.
So Nippard breaks down exercise selection into two main categories:
Okay.
compound exercises and isolation exercises.
Great.
He emphasizes the importance of compound exercises,
Yeah.
those that involve multiple joints and muscle groups.
So we're talking about the big lifts like squats, deadlifts, bench press, and overhead press.
You got it. These exercises recruit a larger amount of muscle mass,
Right.
leading to a greater overall stimulus for growth
Okay.
and a more robust hormonal response.
Got it.
They're incredibly efficient for building overall strength and muscle mass.
So they're like the foundation of a solid training program.
Precisely. He also recommends incorporating isolation exercises,
Okay.
those that target specific muscles to supplement compound movements and ensure balanced muscle development.
So exercises like bicep curls, tricep extensions, or calf raises would fall into the isolation category.
Exactly. Isolation exercises allow you to focus on specific muscles and ensure balanced development.
It seems like a combination of both compound and isolation exercises is the key to a well-rounded training program.
You've grasped the concept perfectly.
I'm trying.
He provides specific recommendations for both compound and isolation exercises in his guide,
Okay.
giving you a comprehensive toolbox for building a balanced and effective training regimen.
Now let's address training frequency. How often should we be training each muscle group to maximize muscle growth?
Nippard suggests that training each muscle group 2 to 3 times per week strikes a good balance
Okay.
for most individuals.
So a traditional bodybuilding split where you dedicate different days to training different muscle groups would align with this recommendation.
Absolutely. It allows for adequate recovery between sessions while ensuring sufficient stimulus for growth.
This is helpful. It gives us a practical framework for structuring our training week. But what about those who prefer to train more frequently,
Okay.
like full body workouts every other day? Is that a viable approach?
He acknowledges that training frequency can be adjusted based on factors like training experience, recovery capacity, individual goals, and personal preferences.
So once again, it comes back to personalization.
Precisely. It's about finding a frequency that allows you to train consistently, recover effectively,
Right.
and make progress towards your goals.
This deep dive into weight training has been incredibly insightful. I'm starting to see how the principles of progressive overload volume exercise selection and training frequency all work together to create a comprehensive and effective training program.
And remember, consistency and effort are key.
Right.
It's about showing up consistently, pushing your limits, and staying dedicated to the process.
Now let's revisit the world of supplements.
Oh, right.
We talked about protein powder, creatine, and caffeine earlier.
Yeah.
But I'm curious to explore some other supplements that might be beneficial for those seeking to optimize their body recomposition results.
So Nippard dedicates an entire chapter to supplements providing evidence-based insights
Okay.
and recommendations for those seeking to enhance their progress.
The supplements aren't a magic bullet, but they can play a supportive role in our journey.
Exactly. He emphasizes that supplements should never replace a solid foundation of nutrition and training,
Right.
but can provide additional support and potentially accelerate our progress.
What are some other supplements he recommends?
One that he highlights is green tea extract, which contains a powerful compound called EGCG that has been shown to increase fat oxidation and enhance metabolic health.
So sipping on green tea or taking a green tea extract supplement could provide an extra boost for fat loss.
It's definitely a possibility. He also discusses ashwagandha, an adaptogenic herb traditionally used in Ayurvedic medicine
Okay.
to manage stress and enhance overall well-being.
I've heard of ashwagandha.
Okay.
It's often touted for its stress-reducing properties, but I didn't realize it could also benefit body recomposition.
So recent research suggests that ashwagandha might also positively impact muscle growth and recovery.
This is fascinating.
Yeah.
It seems like managing stress through natural means like ashwagandha could indirectly support our body composition goals
Right.
by optimizing hormonal balance, promoting recovery.
Precisely. It highlights the interconnectedness of various aspects of our health and well-being.
Are there any other supplements worth exploring?
He also mentions L-citrulline, an amino acid that can enhance blood flow
Yeah.
and potentially improve exercise performance.
So supplementing with L-citrulline might lead to better pumps in the gym
Right.
and potentially contribute to greater muscle growth.
It's a possibility that some individuals might find worthwhile. He also discusses the potential benefits of fish oil,
Okay.
which is rich in omega-3 fatty acids,
Uh-huh.
for reducing inflammation and supporting overall health.
This is a great overview of some additional supplements that can potentially enhance our body recomposition journey. It's about understanding their mechanisms of action, potential benefits, and making informed choices based on our individual needs and goals.
You've captured the essence of informed supplementation perfectly.
Now let's tackle a topic that often generates confusion and debate:
Oh,
meal frequency.
okay.
Does it matter how often we eat for body recomposition, or is it more about hitting our daily calorie and macro targets?
So Nippard addresses this common concern, and his recommendations are grounded in the latest scientific evidence. He concludes that meal frequency in and of itself
Okay.
is not a primary driver of muscle growth or fat loss.
So whether I eat 3 square meals a day or graze on smaller meals and snacks throughout the day, as long as I'm hitting my overall calorie and macro goals,
Right.
the results should be comparable.
That's the general consensus based on the available research.
Right.
What matters most is finding an eating pattern
Okay.
that aligns with your lifestyle preferences
Right.
and helps you consistently adhere to your overall dietary goals.
This is liberating. It takes the pressure off feeling like I need to constantly be eating
Right.
or adhering to a rigid eating schedule.
He emphasizes that meal frequency should be tailored to individual needs and preferences. If you find that eating more frequently helps you manage hunger and stay on track with your nutrition plan, that's perfectly fine.
And if I prefer fewer larger meals, that's also acceptable.
Absolutely. It's about finding what works best for you and your body.
Okay.
He does, however, highlight the importance of protein distribution throughout the day.
Earlier, we talked about aiming for 4 to 6 protein-rich meals per day to maximize muscle protein synthesis. Does he reiterate that recommendation?
He does. He suggests spreading your protein intake relatively evenly throughout the day to ensure a consistent supply of amino acids to fuel muscle growth and repair.
This is valuable advice.
Oh, it.
It's not just about hitting a daily protein target, but also optimizing its timing and distribution for maximum benefit.
Precisely. It's about fine-tuning our dietary approach to align with the principles of muscle protein synthesis and optimize our results.
This deep dive into meal frequency has been incredibly insightful.
Good.
It's reassuring to know that we have flexibility in structuring our meals and snacks.
Right.
As long as we're mindful of our overall calorie and macro targets and prioritize protein distribution throughout the day.
It's about finding a sustainable approach that fits seamlessly into our lives.
Now, as we approach the final stretch of our deep dive into Nippard's Ultimate Guide to Body Recomposition, I'd love to touch on an aspect that often gets overlooked in the pursuit of physique goals. Mindset.
Mindset. The cornerstone of lasting transformation.
We've delved into the science and strategies of body recomposition.
We have.
But achieving lasting results requires more than just knowledge and action, wouldn't you say?
You're absolutely right. Cultivating a resilient and supportive mindset is paramount to navigating the inevitable challenges and setbacks that arise on any journey of self-improvement.
So it's not just about physical transformation, but also about mental and emotional transformation.
Precisely. Nippard wisely encourages readers to embrace patience, consistency, and self-compassion as guiding principles throughout this process.
These are powerful reminders. It's easy to get caught up in the desire for quick fixes and instant gratification, but true transformation takes time and unwavering dedication.
He emphasizes that setbacks are not failures, but opportunities for growth and learning. It's how we respond to those challenges that determines our ultimate success.
So it's about embracing the journey, both the highs and the lows, and using each experience as a stepping stone towards our goals.
Exactly. He encourages celebrating our progress no matter how incremental. And recognizing that every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory worth acknowledging.
This is such a crucial message.
It is.
It's about shifting our focus from perfection to progress and acknowledging the effort and dedication we're putting in, even when the results aren't immediately apparent.
It's about embracing the journey and finding joy in the process of self-discovery and growth.
This conversation about mindset has been incredibly valuable. It's a reminder that lasting transformation requires not only knowledge and action, but also a resilient and supportive mindset.
It's about embracing the process, honoring our journey, and celebrating the wins along the way. It's about embracing the journey and recognizing that true transformation unfolds gradually over time.
We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, exploring a wide spectrum of factors that influence body recomposition.
From optimizing nutrition and crafting effective training programs to prioritizing sleep, managing stress, and cultivating a supportive mindset.
Now I'm ready to kind of synthesize all this information and explore how we can bring it all together into a cohesive plan.
That's a fantastic next step. Nippard's guide provides a very practical framework for creating a personalized blueprint for body recomposition.
I'm eager to hear his recommendations.
He stresses the significance of setting realistic goals. Transformation takes time, and aiming for gradual, sustainable changes is key.
So it's about setting achievable milestones along the way. Rather than striving for those drastic overnight transformations.
Exactly. He encourages starting with small adjustments to your diet and exercise routine, gradually increasing the intensity and duration over time.
Makes sense. It's about creating sustainable habits, not overwhelming ourselves with drastic changes that we can't maintain.
He also highlights the importance of tracking progress, both in terms of your physique and performance metrics.
So monitoring our weight, body composition, strength gains, and even how our clothes fit can provide valuable feedback on our progress.
Precisely. And don't forget to track your food intake and exercise routine. It helps you identify patterns, make adjustments, and stay accountable to your goals.
This resonates with the concept of mindful awareness that we discussed earlier.
It does. It's about paying attention to both internal and external cues
Right.
and using that information to guide our choices and refine our approach.
Now, I'm curious about how to address those inevitable plateaus that we all encounter on our fitness journeys.
Oh, the dreaded plateaus.
I know, everybody hits them.
Nippard offers valuable strategies for breaking through them.
Okay.
He encourages revisiting your calorie and macro targets, adjusting your training program by increasing the weight, reps, or sets, incorporating new exercises, or even switching up your training split.
So it's about shaking things up, providing a fresh stimulus to challenge our bodies
Right.
and prevent adaptation.
Exactly. He also stresses the significance of prioritizing recovery.
Mhm.
Sometimes a plateau might signal that your body needs more rest
Uh-huh.
or a reduction in training volume.
This reminds us that recovery is just as crucial as the workouts themselves.
It's an integral part of the adaptation and growth process. Without adequate recovery, we risk overtraining and hinder our progress.
This deep dive has been incredibly illuminating. It's empowered me with a deeper understanding of the science and strategies behind body recomposition, and I'm excited to apply these principles to my own fitness journey.
I'm glad to hear that. Remember, it's about consistency, patience, and a willingness to experiment and adjust your approach along the way. Body recomposition isn't a linear process, and embracing the journey is key.
Before we wrap up this episode, I'd love to revisit the concept of individualization. We've touched on it throughout our conversation, but can you offer some final thoughts on tailoring this approach to our unique needs and circumstances?
Absolutely. Nippard emphasizes that there's no one-size-fits-all blueprint for body recomposition.
Right.
It's about understanding the principles
Okay.
and then applying them intelligently to your unique situation.
So factors like our genetics, training experience, activity levels, dietary preferences, and even our lifestyle and stress levels all come into play.
Precisely. He encourages experimenting, tracking your progress, and making adjustments based on how your body responds. It's about becoming an active participant in your transformation.
This makes perfect sense. It's about empowering ourselves to become the architects of our own health and fitness journeys.
You've captured the essence beautifully. It's about taking ownership of our well-being and crafting a plan that aligns with our individual aspirations.
Now, as promised, I'd like to distill the key takeaways from our deep dive into Jeff Nippard's ultimate guide to body recomposition. Let's recap the 10 essential points that can guide us on this transformative path.
Okay, I'm happy to help reinforce those key concepts.
First and foremost, body recomposition is a realistic and achievable goal, even for those who've struggled with traditional bulking and cutting cycles.
It's about understanding the science and applying the principles strategically.
Second, calorie balance is crucial, but it's not just about calories in versus calories out. Our metabolism is a dynamic system influenced by multiple factors, including our basal metabolic rate, activity levels, and the thermic effect of food.
Calculating your individual calorie needs and adjusting them based on your primary goal, whether it's muscle gain or fat loss, is a foundational step.
Third, protein is the MVP of muscle building. Aim for 1.2 to 1.6 grams per pound of lean body mass and prioritize high-quality protein sources that contain all 9 essential amino acids.
Fourth, carbohydrate and fat intake should be tailored to your individual needs, taking into account factors like body fat percentage and goals. Opt for low glycemic index carbohydrates and prioritize healthy fats.
Fifth, don't obsess over the anabolic window. While post-workout nutrition is important, focus on consistent protein intake throughout the day, aiming for 4 to 6 protein-rich meals spread evenly.
Sixth, remember that not all protein sources are created equal. Prioritize complete protein sources or strategically combine incomplete sources to ensure you're getting all the essential amino acids your body needs.
Seventh, fuel your workout strategically. Consume a combination of low glycemic index carbs and protein before training. For longer sessions, consider intra-workout carbs to maintain energy levels.
Eighth, cardio can be a valuable tool for enhancing calorie expenditure and promoting cardiovascular health, but don't overdo it. Find a balance that aligns with your goals and recovery capacity.
Ninth, prioritize sleep. Aim for 8 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night to optimize recovery, hormone regulation, and metabolic function. Implement sleep hygiene practices to enhance sleep quality.
And 10th, cultivate a resilient and supportive mindset. Embrace the journey, acknowledge your progress, and navigate challenges with patience and self-compassion. Body recomposition is a holistic process that requires a commitment to both physical and mental well-being.
This 10-point summary provides a fantastic roadmap for navigating the world of body recomposition.
It's about empowering yourself with knowledge, taking action, and staying committed to the process.
As we conclude this deep dive, I'm filled with a sense of excitement and newfound confidence.
I'm thrilled to have shared this journey of exploration with you. Remember, transformation is within your reach. Embrace the challenge, stay dedicated, and enjoy the process.
That's a wrap on today's deep dive. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and keep striving for those remarkable transformations.
We believe in you.